to talk this morning a little bit about what we're doing at United Airlines. Got a lot of content to cover. We've been doing a lot. We have a lot more to come, but I'll try and keep it pretty brief. I'll go through some of these slides fairly quickly, hopefully saving some time at the end for questions, but if not, happy to catch up with people in the breaks or at lunch if there's anything interesting that I talk about. So a lot going on, as I said, but I'm going to provide a bit of context, a bit of background to define where we got to today. So a couple of major decisions that United made around 4 years ago. I'm still in the depths of COVID. A lot of people thought we were crazy, but one of those decisions was ordering hundreds of new aircraft. We were one of the few airlines that didn't really retire any aircraft at that time. We parked a lot, as everyone else did, but we didn't really get rid of any, and we also ordered hundreds of new aircraft as well. Our leadership team were convinced that there would be recovery coming out of COVID, and the recovery would be strong as well. So we wanted to be well placed to capture that demand as it came back, and we've been proven right. The other key decision that was made, which resulted in a project that we called United Next, was the decision to invest in upgraded interiors on all the aircraft as well. Not only did we think that the demand would come back, we wanted to make sure that we offered a premium and differentiated product so that customers would come back, we could drive high yields and drive brand loyalty as well. So some key components of the new signature interiors included larger overhead bins on every aircraft so that every customer usually could get their carry-on baggage on board. New interiors, new soft furnishings, new seats on a lot of aircraft as well, but primarily for me and my team, I'm putting IFE screens at every seat on every mainline aircraft in the fleet. And high-speed Wi-Fi as well. So that was United Next. How we do it. So as of today, we have almost 700 aircraft in the fleet equipped with seatback inflight entertainment. When I joined United almost 2 years ago, we were at around 330 marks, so we're moving really fast, and we're building this kind of incredibly scalable, large audience. We tend to talk less about the number of aircraft, but more about number of screens, number of impressions, the size of our audience, and that's driving some really interesting conversations with brand partners, advertisers, and content players, which I'll get onto a bit later on. We're continuing that progression. We have a lot of new aircraft coming in, so these numbers constantly change. But as well as the new aircraft and applying and retrofitting these new interiors to the existing fleet, we're intending to hit around 1,000 aircraft by late next year, early 27, and on kind of path to have around 1,200 aircraft with over 300,000 screens by around 2028. So pretty sizable fleet. But beyond United Next, we haven't stopped. Last week, some of you may have heard about an event that we had in New York to announce our new cabin interiors, an initiative we're calling United Elevated. For some reason, we can't say United Elevate, that's someone else's copyright, but calling it United Elevated. I'm going to play a little video here and talk through that about some of what that brings. This shows a few highlights of what we're doing. A lot of focus on the premium cabins, and Polaris business class cabin in particular, but essentially this is a redesign of the aircraft from nose to tail. This will be coming in on our new 787-9 later this year, around the November timeframe. But what you'll see with some of the highlights through this is not just about hard product. We're putting a lot of effort into the soft furnishings, into much improved catering, and some of the soft amenities that we hand out as well. So this is examples of what we're doing with Polaris. We also announced the launch of a new concept called Polaris Studio. So we're taking the 2 front rows, the 2 Polaris cabins. That's a total of 8 seats, and we're calling that Polaris Studio. So this is a much bigger space as part of the Polaris cabin. And again, it's not just about hard product, we're also providing those customers with enhanced amenities as well. So they'll get a better amenity kit, better pajamas, more catering options as well. So a big focus for us is about providing the soft product around the hard product as well. And then as you'll see as we get through the kind of next couple of scenes, we're not just stopping in the premium cabins, we're providing upgrades to all of our customers at every seat. A big part of that is in-flight entertainment, deploying larger screens at every seat, different charging options at every seat as well. And then, so that's the new kind of United Elevated product. Jump ahead. So just to recap as well, so specific to kind of me and my team again, bigger screens at every seat. I think the larger screens that you can actually fit into an economy class seat. But basically what we had in the cabin ahead currently is what's getting now pushed back into the cabin behind. So So where we previously had 16-inch screens in Polaris, it's now 16-inch screens in Premium Economy, what we call United Premium Plus. We have 4K displays on all of our A321neos today, so that's not something that's totally new for us, but with the new Panasonic Astrova system that will be coming on the new aircraft, we're also getting 4K OLED displays as well, so really incredible viewing experience, high quality, amazing kind of color palette as well that we're looking forward to. Also deploying more charging options as well. Part of our strategy is allowing customers choice to use the seatback screen and their own devices, so we want to give them different options for powering those devices as well. Wireless charging we already have in our domestic first class product on the A321neos. That will become standard in not just business class cabins, but in our premium economy cabin as well. Then Bluetooth, another thing that we've already done. I think we were innovative with this about 3 years ago and deploying that onto what is now close to 400 aircraft with Bluetooth pairing capability. That'll become part of the product standard going forward as well. And that's great, it allows customers to pair their own headphones and enjoy a kind of improved audio experience even when they're kind of on domestic flights, especially where the quality of headsets that we hand out isn't necessarily the best. And then as I mentioned, as you saw in the video, really huge screens in those Polaris Studio suites as well. It's going to be a great viewing experience for those customers, those that can afford it. But it wasn't just about hardware. Part of our strategy as well was to look at how we leverage those screens and do something more than just have those as a kind of media entertainment player. So what we've been doing is, and I'll get into some of the details around this, but evolving IFE away from just being an entertainment platform into a fully integrated and cohesive channel within our digital marketing ecosystem. And then beyond that as well, a big focus for us was on being able to deploy regular updates to the kind of content and the apps and the software on board those aircraft as well. So initial focus over the last couple of years has been putting that, and then a lot of that enabling technology and building blocks in place. But going forward, you'll see that we're deploying regular updates to not just the content, but some of the software and features as well. So how are we getting there? Talked a lot about the technology, but kind of 5 core pillars of our strategy in terms of how we're kind of enabling this digital onboard experience, as we're now kind of calling it, rather than just IFE. So beyond the hardware, investment in new software as well. We deployed a new software platform at the end of 2023. A big piece of that is the ability to roll out frequent updates. We're actually already on our 4th, I think it might actually be our 5th software update in a little under a year and a half, which is pretty impressive because a few years ago we were doing maybe 1 software update on 20 different configurations every 2 to 3 years, and it was painful. We're also taking over some of the software development ourselves as well. So functionality and data that's key and core to United, we're owning some of that development ourselves, but also working in partnership with Panasonic to kind of have this hybrid of things that United does best, but Panasonic delivers well for us as well. Getting extensive data off the new platform as well, almost too much data, we're not quite sure what to do with it all, but that's playing a part in us deciding how we evolve the platform going forward, not just decisions around which movies to play, but how we kind of customize the UX and which applications and services we put on board. Onto the user experience, we deployed a new UX, embraced our new visual identity. A big part of that approach was having a really intuitive and familiar experience for our customers as well. We wanted to get away from this very customized, typical airline IFE kind of UI where customers have to fumble around and try and find content. We wanted to make it more familiar with the platforms that they're using at home. A big part of our strategy as well is cohesion. I mentioned about people being able to use their own personal devices. We've been kind of guilty of having like disparate experiences across those different products. Connectivity portal, PDE, our personal device entertainment, which I think everyone else calls wireless entertainment, and the seatback. Wanting to make sure that experience across all of those different touch points is cohesive. So that's part of our strategy as well. And again, you'll see that kind of word flexibility and dynamic in there as well. Really important to us to be able to consistently and regularly change the UX and the content services within it to respond to customer needs and what we're learning about the platform. Big focus on content, developing new partnerships. Some of the new capabilities that we've launched have opened up some really interesting capabilities there, as well as our scale. And again, dynamic content updates, really core for us going forward. You'll hear me talk about our content strategy in a few slides, and our approach there is really about getting content on board quickly and regularly, not necessarily huge libraries of content. And then last but not least, the only reason I've got it on the right-hand side, well, a couple of reasons really. One is based on a kind of recent announcement around Starlink, actually September last year. We started flying our first Starlink aircraft publicly at least a few weeks ago. Really successful so far. That's not just about providing amazing connectivity experience for customers that want to go and do their own stuff, whether it's email, Facebook, Teams calls, whatever. It's also powering a lot of the other stuff that we're doing as well. So powering new content experiences, it's powering the ability to get data on and off the aircraft really quickly. It's helping us to drive some operational efficiencies as well. So our new IFE platform, as I said, we launched this at the end of 2023. We're onto our kind of fifth kind of iteration of the software since then. This really falls into three key themes in which we've kind of bucketed the different capabilities. One's around engagement. Content is still king or queen, and that's a key part of that, the entertainment experience, but we also deployed new ways of curating and presenting that content as well. We'll go through some of those examples in a minute. As part of the strategy of turning IFE into a full kind of marketing communications platform with our customers, the ability to serve up content and information that's relevant for our customers, makes them comfortable with their experience with United, that's a big part of the approach as well. And then last but not least, the ability to kind of create, it's really about monetization, we call it promotion because we don't want to use the word monetization too heavily. But this is about the ability to serve relevant and impactful messaging, promotions and offers to our customers. And I'll touch on some of that later on and how that's actually been really successful for us, not just from a revenue perspective, but from a customer satisfaction perspective as well. The IFE channel, the new UX that we launched at the end of 23 was the first to embrace our new visual identity. First of digital channels to do that, much more modern experience than we had before, and cohesive with all of our other channels as well. Again, as part of that kind of integrated marketing channel strategy. In terms of engagement, as I said, content is king, but we've been finding ways to present and merchandise that content much more effectively than we did before. Most of the features you see on here are actually relatively new. A couple of those are actually only, we haven't even rolled out yet. Some of those are rolling out in the new software release next month. For example, the feature channel. We've developed new content partnerships where we have content players that have movies, TV, podcasts, games. Previously, we were putting those in each of the relevant sections. So for the first time, similar to the streaming platforms, we're putting all of that in one place. So you get a kind of familiar and cohesive experience with that entertainment partner. So a little bit more about content. Big part of our strategy, this is our current promotional video that we put on board. Big part of our content strategy is less about quantity, even though we do have anywhere from 12 to 1,400 items of content on board at any one time. And the reason we have all that content is more about the breadth and diversity of customers that we have to cater for. Our big focus is on quality and impact and relevance more than quantity. We have over 100 different content partners that we work with directly or with our partners at NewView. And then accessibility is a key part of our strategy as well. We were kind of one of the innovators with accessibility, winning the Crystal Cabin Award about 6 years ago, putting on a lot of new features for hard of hearing and visually impaired passengers. We've extended that kind of innovation capability. We now have closed captions on around 80% of our content, so it's not just the new release movies. And we're also always looking to expand the number of languages that we offer on board. So we typically have anywhere from 20 to 25 different languages on board as well, including some kind of very different ones recently, like Georgian and Catalan and kind of crazy languages like that. So wanting to get the best quality of content on board and make that available as possible to as many customers as possible as well. So that's a little bit on content. Part of our strategy around content, we're not big on exclusivity. We actually take a very kind of agnostic approach with our content partners. We want to offer the best of everything and content that's familiar to customers that they have at home. But we will look for opportunities to create these kind of uniquely United experiences as well. This is a good example because we actually sponsor the Wrexham football team. I mean, real football, not American football. That's a whole story in itself, why the hell we sponsor a kind of random team, or less random now, but team in Wales. But that one's actually got some really cool United specific stories in some of the episodes, so that was a really great opportunity to kind of tie the sponsorship opportunity, the brand marketing that we do with that relationship, and get their content on board as well. And it does really well with our customers, content like that. We're also kind of part of our strategy with the new platform as well is digitizing a lot of the content that we had in our Hemispheres magazine previously. We retired the Hemispheres magazine in September last year. One of the most popular elements of that piece of content in the magazine was a sub-brand that we have called 3 Perfect Days. People would actually rip the pages out and take the magazines just for those articles. Our team is now digitizing all of that content, doing video productions. I think they have about 380 different destinations that they have to kind of create and constantly update. We're now bringing all of that content into inflight as well, because it's one of our kind of most engaged and kind of longest dwell time platforms that we have. So as well as what we offer on the website, we're bringing all of that content into IFE as well. And then we're also starting to, whilst we have had, and we do still have a live TV product on a large quantity of our aircraft, and we're also looking at how new technology, especially the new connectivity, allows us to start delivering live and other kind of real-time, time-sensitive content directly to our customers. So thanks to a relationship we have with Viasat and DirecTV and help from them, we deploy NFL Red Zone every Sunday during the last season directly to our customers on several hundred aircraft, and we've got Super Bowl on board in February as well. So that's something we're really interested in. It's really impactful for our customers. They love it. We do more of that going forward as well. And then last but not least, around content, personalization. I'll talk a bit more about this when I get to the advertising kind of section, but being able to offer a truly personalized experience is part of what we're doing now with the new platform as well. We know a lot about every customer at every seat. This is a new feature that we're just rolling out where we actually allow customers to verify who they are in every seat. We were doing some targeting, as I said, especially with advertising before, but we were sensitive to how personalized we could get because we weren't always sure that the customers hadn't switched seats, last minute upgrades, that kind of thing. Now we can actually allow customers, and this is an opt-in feature as well, we don't force customers to do this. Customers can validate really quickly who they are, and then we provide them with a kind of personalized experience. So not just advertising, but personalized content, creating those experiences specifically for customers. And there's a couple of other examples of how we're delivering personalized messaging to customers that I'll come on to as well. Which is the next section, around information service. As I said before, part of having, bringing IFE in as a kind of cohesive one of our channels within our marketing ecosystem was to bring some of the more popular features and notifications that you get on .com and in the app and bring those straight through to the IFE screen. Not everyone has their device connected or their mobile device switched on with the app running, but our app does really well. Customers love it, it's award-winning. There's a lot of information there that we wanted to make sure was being kind of reflected at the same time on the in-flight entertainment screen. So I'll go through a couple of examples of that on the next slides. When we first launched the system, we're providing connected gate information. A lot of airlines do that, customized by flight, but what we're now doing is all of that information is customized to the individual. So we can tell them exactly where their bag is going to be and where their connecting flight is going to go from. And we're going to be doing more of this going forward as well. So providing that really relevant information to our customers, having that information at their fingertips that makes them kind of comfortable with their experience with us. New feature that we're rolling out, and again, this is kind of leveraging the capabilities of our app, is providing information to customers, even in negative situations. Sorry. So an example, an IROM situation like this one where a flight is delayed, previously a customer would have to have their device out and the app on to know what was going on, or they'd find out when they got off the aircraft. They'd panic and have to rush to a customer service desk. We provide a lot of opportunities for our customers to manage those situations, but typically it was when you got off the plane. We can now tell customers in a discreet way while they're on the flight watching the screen what's going on. We can tell them that they can calm down. We've already rebooked them on an alternative flight. They don't need to rush to a customer service desk. And this is actually turning a negative situation into something that's really, really positive. Customers are like, I don't have to panic. United is taking care of me as we have done through the app, but they're letting me know about that in real time. And then last but not least, and this is kind of an odd one because I put it in the information section, but the moving map itself is actually part of engagement as well. It really touches all three of those layers that I mentioned before. A lot of stuff that we're doing with our partners at Vetria to kind of leverage the moving map really as a gateway to everything that's in the IFE platform. It's not just about providing kind of information and how long have I got to go and where am I flying. This is a new feature that we're rolling out. We're actually bringing our route maps into the moving map. People can explore by hub and real-time data that's telling them, they can look at schedules for upcoming flights and ultimately be able to book these through the platform as well. So really leveraging the power of the in-flight entertainment, the moving map, to give customers not just relevant information, but kind of information that really helps enhance their experience with us. And it's a revenue opportunity for us as well if we're driving that rebooking. And you saw a little clip of it in that kind of little video, but a cool new feature that we launched late last year is this control tower mode. So powered by data from flight aware coming through, the battery of the flight path 3D map, you can kind of get a view of the overall airfield and see all the little planes moving around. Really popular with the app geeks. Actually, I think you'll see a couple of them pop up. You actually get tags to show which aircraft they are. We're even thinking about, could we kind of gamify this a bit and see if you can race your friend into the terminal. So a lot of cool stuff there. App geeks love it, as I said, and we have a lot of those flying geeks. It's a cool new feature, and we're going to be doing a lot more of this going forward with the support battery as well. And then last but not least, I'm going to talk about kind of promotions, targeted messaging, and this really is about advertising. But we're actually doing a lot more than advertising. We're doing it in a much more better and relevant way than we've done previously. Anyone that's flown with United, probably any airline, is used to the same 3 or 4 pre-roll ads you get before every movie, every TV show. It's not particularly great experience for our customers, doesn't drive huge amounts of revenue for us. It's not great for advertisers either. I'm surprised some of them even spend on it. So what we've done is we've kind of completely changed the way that we're delivering that messaging capability to our customers. We're also, as part of that kind of integrated marketing channel, running campaigns across all of our different touch points at the same time. So you'll see a campaign run on .com, we can see how customers respond, we carry that through to the app when they use the app for check-in and their boarding pass. We continue that experience through on the in-flight entertainment platform, and then we can kind of track their behaviors and responses to that messaging and kind of do follow-ups on the app and on .com as well. IFE is growing in prominence. It was a kind of core part of that campaign offering originally, but we have incredible take rates on IFE. We're kind of driving 80% take rate on the new platform right now, and an average of 3.5 hours dwell time across our whole fleet, our whole network. So compared to 30 minutes you spend booking a flight on .com or the 10 minutes you might spend on the app checking in, the kind of audience that we drive on IFE is incredibly important to our partners on this. So IFE has now become this kind of channel by which we can connect these brands, these advertisers, these partners, content players as well with our customers, delivering really relevant information and promotions, but impactful experiences as well. Good example we did on day one is the Chase card ad that you can see in the top left. Airline customers will be familiar with, frequent flyer and credit card partner promotions. We bombard you with those all the time. You now only get the Chase card ad if we know you don't already have a Chase card with us. We don't ask you to sign up for Mileage Plus if we know you're already a Mileage Plus member. And we know that because we are pushing all that data to the aircraft as soon as the gates close, and we know a lot of information about every customer in every seat. We're doing this in a kind of non-creepy way. We're very respectful. We have a strong legal team, very respectful of data privacy rules and all that kind of fun stuff. As I'll get to at the end, we're actually seeing positive reaction from customers as really great, as well as really great engagement from our customers as well. All of the advertising is targeted by a number of different factors, including kind of route, cabin, age, language, about half a dozen different parameters that we're using initially, but potentially 100 different kind of factors that we can use to kind of personalize beyond just kind of basic targeting. Really good example we had is actually, and relevant to my team, is this content partnership that we have with Univision. We launched this as one of the first content partners in the middle of last year. Not only do we get this really high quality, is that?
Oh, I just wanted a picture of you, Jim. Sorry, I was trying to signal.
I'll move over. So not only do we get a kind of this really great variety of high quality Spanish language programming, it's a kind of demographic we were actually struggling to serve a little bit better. A lot of our customers flying in and out of Latin America, living in Latin America, that was where we were seeing some of the kind of lowest content satisfaction scores. So this checks a huge box in terms of offering that content to those customers, but it's also all targeted as well. It's not just when customers select the language when they log in, we can see what their preferred language is from their customer profile, their Mileage Plus kind of selections especially. But in partnership with Univision, we're also promoting their new VIX Premium streaming platform as well. So we can promote that directly to the audience that they're interested in, and we've seen really amazing results from this. We got a 12% click-through to their sign-up platform and people actively subscribing. So not just click-throughs because they're interested, but people actually signing up. And 12% might not sound huge, but in the advertising world, like 2 or 3% kind of call to action rate is actually pretty good. And we're seeing very similar kind of behaviors on some of the other kind of partnerships we're putting in place as well. So this is delivering kind of relevant and impactful experiences to our customers, but delivering huge value to our kind of advertising partners as well. We're also able to promote some of our own stuff as well. We know customers at that seat where they're connecting to, and we know in real time that there might be upgrade inventory on that kind of connecting flight. So we can offer them those kind of capabilities in real time as well. And there's a loyalty component to this because we can offer them the ability, same as we do on the map, to do that in cash or in miles. And depending on their status, they'll get different redemption rates with the miles as well. I should have said as well that the relationship with Univision and with a lot of our partners is not just about paid media. There's a loyalty kind of component, which is actually becoming a bigger part of these relationships as well. So customers are able to kind of earn and burn miles on a lot of these relationships as well, which it adds value to our loyalty program through this as well. And then just to wrap up, how are we doing? I kind of mentioned a couple of these before, but really high engagement on the new platform. We're typically seeing engagement rates of up to 80%, way higher than we were kind of predicting. It's even allowing for customers sleeping, eating, going to the bathroom. We're driving huge revenue growth with our connected media team that are monetizing the platform in an appropriate way. We're also driving new partnerships and loyalty offers, as you saw with the kind of Univision example, but there's a lot more and a lot more coming. And then kind of we measure customer satisfaction in a number of different ways, but NPS is the big one. The new platform, even with more advertising being served, but in a much more relevant and targeted way, we're seeing our NPS results go up by close to 20%. So it's kind of checks across the board, really. And we're really happy with what we're doing. And we do a lot of stuff on social media as well. This was specifically around the kind of NFL Red Zone stuff that we did with Viasat and DirecTV at the end of last year. Our customers are very vocal, and we track their kind of feedback on social media really cleverly. We normally get a weekly report from our social media team, maybe every 2 weeks, and we'll hear kind of good and bad stuff about the different things that we're doing. We had so much stuff coming in on this, we were getting these reports every single day. But our customers love what we're doing, and they do tell us about it. And that's it from me.